Hello everyone, I am doing my April wrap-up. In this wrap-up, I'm also going to be talking about the books that I read for the Owls Readathon. So I had a baby late last month, so I did not get any reading done at the end of March and the beginning of April. So I started reading kind of halfway through April, and I was able to complete 6 books, yes. And so all of my reading basically was done for the Owls. And I'm actually very pleased with how much I actually read, just given the fact that, I had a baby and it's really hard to get anything done that you want to get done when you have a baby that's dependent on you. So that's something that I'm trying to get used to. But nevertheless, I did get a lot of reading done, at least for me. So the first book that I read was This Sun Is Also a Star by Nicola Yoon. I talked about this, I talked about a couple of my thoughts on these books in my reading vlog, so if you have not watched that, please go check that out first. It was my first ever vlog style video that I've ever done, and I was kind of nervous for how it turned out, but I'm excited for the future. Anyhow, okay, so I talked about what I thought on this. Overall, I liked it. I liked the kind of like the deeper ideas that this book presented, because this is marketed for young adults, and I know that this is also a movie coming out. That's why I read the book. I wanted to see the movie. It looked really cute, and it was a really cute story. The book takes place in like the span of one day, and it shifts from different perspectives, and I'm not just talking about like 3 perspectives. It shifts from so many different perspectives, which kind of threw me off guard. And yeah, certain aspects I was like, I wasn't really a fan of, but then I liked the deeper conversations that it presented. Overall, I'd give this maybe 3.5 stars. I don't really rate books, so this is kind of new for me, but I'd give this maybe 3.5 stars. The next book that I read was The Iron Trial by Cassandra Clare and Holly Black. This is a middle grade series, and I want to say there are 5 books, and this is the first one. I love this book. I think out of all of the books I read, this is probably my favorite one that I got to read this month. This follows a group of friends, and particularly this one boy named Cal, and they got accepted into this magic school. So it is a lot like Harry Potter, a lot like it, but the magic system is completely different. The scenarios are really different. Even the style of the book is really different. So I really appreciated that. And so yes, they get into this magic school and they have like a Voldemort of the story, and just going through all of that. So I'm super excited to get the sequel. I was hoping to read the sequel this month, or in April. I really wanted to just get the next one, but unfortunately my bookstore is like an hour away and they don't sell this series at Target, which is the only place I can buy books in my city. So I have to wait, either order online or wait until the next time I go to the bookstore. So yes, I cannot wait to read the rest of the series. I actually might just buy the whole series and just binge read it. It's just, I couldn't put it down. It's so good. Oh, I forgot to give the rating. I'd give this 5 stars. It is such a good book. The next book I read was Blue Dahlia by Nora Roberts. I actually had, I read the first part of this, or at least a good chunk of it, a couple months ago, and then I put it down, and then I read the last 100 pages this past month. And it was a really cute love story. It's a romance, but it also has a ghost story element, so kind of mystery, kind of a little spooky, and then the romance. And it is a great romance read. Nora Roberts is really great for that. But I did appreciate that it had a different element to it. It wasn't just romance. It had a mystery element, and it did leave off, not a cliffhanger, but it left off with like an exciting ending. And so this is a trilogy. I don't know if I'll necessarily continue the trilogy. I might. I really want to know how these characters will develop in the end. but I don't know, maybe not now, maybe I'll take a break from it. So I'd probably give this 3.5 stars. The next book I read was A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J Maas, and I love this book. I did not expect to like it. I went into this book thinking that it was not gonna be for me. I actually had tried to read it years ago, like when I first bought it. I first bought it a couple years ago, and I think I got 50 pages in, and I thought it was kind of boring. But this time I said, you know what, I'm just gonna, go for it. I'm gonna read it, and I couldn't put it down. I loved it. It's such a good fantasy story. It has all of the elements that I missed about the Throne of Glass series. I have not finished that series yet, but I haven't picked it up. I haven't picked up the next book in a long time, and the next book I'm reading in the Throne of Glass series is Tower of Dawn, and I'm so hesitant to read it because it's not from Selena or Aylin's perspective. It's from Cole's, and I'm not a fan. I mean, I like him, I do, but do I like him that much? Not sure. So yes, it had everything that I missed about that series, and so I am excited to pick up the next one, which is it A Court of Wings and Ruin or something like that, or Mist and Fury? I don't know. But yeah, so I did like this. I'd give this 4 stars. The next book that I picked up was The Sisters Hemingway by Annie England Noblin, and I actually was really surprised by this. I didn't think I would like it as much as I did. It kind of got a little bit, like, not cheesy, but kind of the whole thing of like, I'm not the average woman. I don't like it when, people say those things like, oh, I'm not the typical girl or whatever. It kind of gave me that kind of a vibe towards the end. But this was a really, but this book surprised me so much. I thought this was just a family story about 3 sisters who come together. Basically, I kind of went ahead of myself. This book is about 3 sisters who come together, and they basically grew apart after their mom and their sister died, and their aunt became their guardian. But they all kind of just left because they were heartbroken by their family member's death, and so they come together for their aunt's funeral, and something ends up happening. And I'm not going to say what it is because I didn't know what I thought. I had no idea that this was going to be that type of story. I don't even want to say anything other than that because, like I said, I went into it thinking this was like a contemporary women's fiction type of book, and it really is, but there's something else that happens, and it's just so good. I want to say I predicted it like halfway through, but there were other things I didn't expect, and I was very surprised, and I read like the last half of it like at night, and I couldn't put it down. And so yeah, and it's not very long at all. I want to say 350 pages, so it's not very long at all. It's like a really, I think I read it, I want to say I read it like in a day and a half. So yes, I really like this one. I'd give this one 4.5 stars. And then the last book that I read was When We Wake by Karen Healy. Now, unfortunately, I DNF'd this book. It was really good. I got more than halfway through. I had 100 pages last night. I was trying to finish this up last night. Halfway through the book, the writing style changed drastically. I don't know what happened. It was almost as if halfway through the book, the author wanted to make something clear that they had not, so kind of like to fix a mistake, and they kind of just like stuffed everything into that last half, and I didn't even finish it, and I felt like overwhelmed with all the stuff that was just like they didn't even hint about in the beginning or foreshadow or nothing like that. So I had to put it down. I couldn't take it anymore. Like, it was so bad. And I kind of like flipped through I kind of like read not like, how do you say, skimmed. I skimmed through the last half, and nothing happens. Like, basically, this is a series. I'm not sure how many books there are, but I kind of like skimmed, and nothing happened that wasn't expected. It was just really bad writing. I think they could have done so much better with the writing style, but then for whatever reason the author had a change of heart halfway through their draft. I also read an audiobook, which was Always and Forever, Laura Jean. I finally finished that series. I started it, I want to say I started it 2 years ago, and I finally finished it. So yeah, super happy that I got to read 6 books and DNF'd 1. So overall, I completed 6 owls. I don't remember the class names or anything, but I completed 6, which is pretty good. I wasn't going for all 12 challenges. I was just going for more than 1. I was kind of giving myself a little break because I knew that I had a baby and it's just really hard. So these are all the books that I was able to complete during the month of April. I hope you enjoyed this little wrap up, and I would love to hear what you all read in April. So yes, I'll see you next time.